What do you do when a pregnant passenger goes into labor on an international flight? Well, of course, you break out the blankets, the scissors, and the vodka, of course. Fox 13's Tanya Arja shows us everybody from the passengers to the flight attendants jumped into action and why they needed that vodka.
But I hope not my last.
Back in her South Tampa home, Susan Carnes is still all smiles. 12 days after she helped bring this little boy named Ibo Salumi into the world.
It is the most exciting thing that has ever happened in my career.
3 hours into the 12-hour flight, she was alerted to a pregnant passenger in row 37 who was in obvious pain.
Do you feel like your water has broken? And she said yes, and that's when I knew, okay, we're having a baby.
She called out, "Is there a doctor on board?" Luckily, Dr. Patrick Ajukwu, an OBGYN, seen on the far left, jumped in to help first-time mom Catherine.
She was very strong. She was very scared.
They were 36,000 feet in the air. Susan called to the cockpit and started directing other flight attendants to get supplies, gloves, paper towels. She grabbed scissors out of her gear bag, and passengers began offering their help.
And we couldn't find any twine or string or anything, and this passenger in the across the aisle offered his shoestrings.
He untied his running shoes and handed over the laces to tie off the umbilical cord. This passenger timed the contractions on his watch. One flight attendant grabbed a Delta cup, filled it with vodka to sterilize the shoelaces and scissors. And then...
here comes the baby. 3 little snips was all it took, and he handed me the baby, and I was like, oh my God!
Susan placed the tiny new passenger on his mom's chest before bundling him up in blankets.
I took the baby to hand it, and I had to kind of lift it up over the seats, and as I did, I noticed that everyone was looking at me, and I just raised it up. I said, it's a boy! And the whole airplane broke into applause.
15 minutes later, the captain landed in Dakar, Senegal. Mom and baby were taken to the hospital.
And it was very special, and I hope I'm going to go to the first birthday.
Susan's been replaying the moments in her mind now that she's back home, back with her pets, and her new kitten she named Shoestring. Tanya Arja, Fox 13 News.
Susan was 3 weeks from her due date, and she did get clearance from her doctor beforehand to fly. Dad, by the way, is still at home in California, and he hasn't met his son yet. Susan's hoping to meet up with them in Atlanta on their connecting flight on Thursday.